Eddie's been a longtime supporter, a great friend to Caps and to me. And Eddie Bell is a people's poet, writes in an accessible voice that illuminates his world of blackness and love. His work is often biographical and always descriptive of what his eyes behold in people and nature's beauty. Black life and its history and realities are foremost in his poetry that also recognizes his spirituality. His most recent work, Undulations, is an illustrated collection of long and short form poetry, including narrative stories. Eddie resides in Charlotte, North Carolina, after many years in the Hudson Valley. My friend, Mr. Eddie Bell.
Thank you, Mike, and thank Caps for inviting me to do a reading. I appreciate it. Anyway, I'm going to be reading from my latest book. It's called Undulations. It's available online with Amazon and Barnes and Noble, etc. Uh, but I'm going to read 12 poems. I hope that's not too long. and as Mike said, I read about, I write about nature, human people, humans, human relations, and my spirituality and the Black experience. So I picked some poems that kind of cover all that ground. So the first poem I'm going to read is going to be a shout out to New Paltz. That's where I spent 40 years and the most years of my life, and it's a nature poem. It's called Splendor in the Flats of New Paltz. My feet trod the shale of a way through magnificent. An early morning sunrise captured shimmering, ephemeral spiderweb sculptures, and a valley fair enriched by the river, the Wallkill's occasional overflow. My senses awakened and throbbing, surrounded by the waving grasses gone to seed. I marvel at the renderings of God, resplendent palette of nature's full range. The dragonflies helicoptered shared rhythm with their monarch allies, darting here and there with flitting wings and momentary pauses. Red-winged blackbirds joined their silent music, floating through the breezy air. Then, as if posed for a waiting surprise, Mohawk Mountain appeared in all its stately majesty. My camera urged myself from its pocket, the moment captured, a frozen memory held forever. I moved through that vastness of multicolored wilderness, steeped in wildflowers, a passing breeze cooling my head, heat dampened skin. Along the way, a spirit force caused a drift to contemplation of this perpetual gift of lovely. And as I walked, I uttered a mandatory prayer of thanks. Leaving was the hard part, though I knew it was only for a time. The second poem is also a nature poem in a way, but it's really about peace. And we all try to have peace, and I spent a lot of time in the country when I had my house in New Paltz, and I'd sit out on my porch outside and look into the woods and think about all the things that nature has to offer. So I wrote this poem called The Poet's Realm of Beauty. Speaks to the essence of love, a oneness with creation, looking above the detritus, detecting what is good, what the eyes can see and the ears can hear in solitude, mystical and wondrous, a delight for the senses, the whole of it a place where perception and lowliness reside. The beauty of which this poet speaks is arresting, nature in all its fullness, the dewy mist that dresses its floral host, the snow parting for crocus clusters in their royal purple and white, the blue of the sky that reveals itself in alternating shades, the mountains in their fall coats of many colors, the wave crest of winter's newly fallen snow, the birds that make us wish that we could fly. And two, the graceful ballet of haughty giraffes, a mountain creek that shimmers in the summer sun, the silent whisper of a falling leaf, that spectacular sunset that begs us to stare in awe. The smile displayed on a gracious face, two children of different color enjoying their playful world, no other care than spending time together. The third poem I'll read is called The Means for Water. I wrote this poem after visiting. I was with my literary society here in Charlotte, Charlotte Lit, and we went and had an exercise with Fraxis. It was at the Mint Museum. And when the group broke up, we went around the museum and looked at paintings and decided which one we'd like to write a poem about. So I wrote a poem. I wrote a poem about a work by Romer Bearden, and it's called The Means for Water. The Means for Water, after Romer Bearden's collage, Noah, the Third Day. Looking at the turbulence, the bleakness of this work returns me to the ancestors, Africans snatched and changed, prepared for transport to an unknown world. Not even in a dream could they fathom what they faced, nor they could divine that one day river ships would be a means of their escape. In the water, the everlasting sea, the ship that cruises through the depths. The master depiction is of Noah, the escaping of the chosen from the wrath of God. An unknown vessel going to an unknown place of Noah's faith. The excitement of the chosen surely must have taken a despairing turn, seasick and misery tormenting them among the animals, wails, stink, and hiss. What are the thoughts that travel the family's minds? No sunshine, only clouds and incessant rain. What fate awaited them at their journey's end? Did Noah calm their feral fears? Always the water, enough to cover the earth they could no longer see. I took no solace for these desperate souls. How could I, when all my mind's eyes could see was my ancestors' suffering, the awfulness of the slave ship's hold? No sunshine penetrated the depth of the unfreezed fear, consuming darkness, the filth and death. No animal stink but that of excretion and stagnant pungent air. They too surely shared Noah's family's dread of the water, the angry tossing of a troubled, wretched sea. But for the moment, I spoke the ancestors' questions I could not hear. When will it end? Does the earth they knew still live? And will their shoeless feet ever tread soil again? The next poem I'm going to read is the title is Shout Out to Blackness. And just a minute, let me, 35. I think it's self-explanatory, so I won't say anything about it. We're still here, a shout out to blackness. Not of our own accord we came, brought through evil means of commerce, across God's separated waters wide and deep. But we're still here, worked to death in southern heat, but we're still here, raped and brutalized for the slightest wrong, but we're still here, slaughtered by wanton mobs filled with hate, but we're still here, betrayed by sorry civil-minded traitors, but we're still here, lynched in unimaginable numbers, but we're still here, killed by murderous officers of the law, of the unjust law, but we're still here, shot and killed by others of our kind, but we're still here, redlined, ghettoed, mass incarcerated, but we're still here. And here we'll stay. We paid and pay still the awful price. Acts of treachery won't remove us from our rightful place. America is ours, born, bred, enslaved. So here we'll stay. There is no doubt. The next poems, you know, you, you see all the violence and things going on in the world, and then you meet somebody in an unexpected place that just makes you feel different and makes you have those feelings of what's going on and being terrified and being depressed and everything. So I wrote this poem because I had a very nice experience with a lady. I take walks every morning, and and I was walking through this neighborhood, and I wrote this poem after returning. It's called "Human to Human" on a hot August day. The plump little lady of some age and friendly attitude, her fair complexion contrasting with my suntan brown, she and her doggie on their morning daily stroll, me on mine toward home, hers just beginning. We passed each other on a neighborhood street named Shady View, our coming and going shielded by its leafy cover. She answered my wave and greeting with a congenial smile. Then she spoke her name, Alice, and I answered with mine. Next, a surprising invitation to me, a black stranger who she'd only seen walking on occasional days, spoke to me with a voice of true concern. It's so hot. I live up the street, second house on the left. If you need to rest and be relieved, you can take a seat on my front porch. The heat, you know, can make you weak and dizzy. With my soul uplifted from a troubling mood, this present world will have you feeling down that way. I appreciated her offer, her unexpected kindness shown, but I chose to walk on, though now with renewed erudition that color is not always the great divide. The next poem, uh, the next poem and it's a true story. And but it's, you know, sometimes I think you can talk to animals, and and that's the experience I had. This happened to be a bird, and the poem is called "My Red-Breasted Visitor." I was sitting out on my back patio among my back patio and on among the flowers, and this is when this incident took place. I'm sure it's a he, his proud manner setting his tone, his ruffled feathers a show of his manhood. His first appearance was upon my backyard fence. When I spoke to him, I truly did, he listened, though he stood his ground aloft and staring. In time, I knew his arrival was an intentional visit, knew by the nods and comfortable demeanor, his added song. Each time I greeted him, he always listened before something urged him to fly away. I was not the least surprised upon his return on one ordinary day, me sitting quietly among my patio flowers. Grounded, he danced a jig with a struggling worm. Then, wanting me to see his subdued prize, he lifted from the grass, flew to a perch mere feet from me, looked me directly in the eyes, and after I remarked to him my feigned indifference, his mission accomplished, he left me again to my solitude, the poor worm dangling, destined for his midday meal. This next poem is I live in Charlotte, and I often visit uh, the Low Country and in South Carolina. And I tour around and walk around and talk to people or go to botanical gardens and things like that. And I happened to go to this botanical garden, and I went in the winter, and the camellias were blooming, and they call it down there. They call it the winter rose. So this poem is called "Live Oaks Silent in the Summer Breeze." If only these trees could talk. The words of the garden lady tending the camellias, beautiful and proud in their depths of the low country. The mighty arms of the ancient live oak spread wide and unconcerned, moss-filled giants hosting the air-sustained plant. They are old, been here for 400 years, listening, seeing, feeling the vibes. I was surprised. I'm supposed at night they whisper, telling what they know. Should I enter among them in the solitude of darkness, eavesdrop under their shielding branches? I may hear the rendered unfreeze prayers, rendered away from Mars's listening ears, steal away prayers of freedom, blessed by these guardians of the earth. The gracious garden lady and me in unspoken agreement when we look at the oaks and silently wonder what unvarnished truth the oaks could tell. I've been a jazz fiend like Mike for a long time, always since college. And I've just been surrounded by jazz. And in fact, I lived in a neighborhood with a lot of jazz, with jazz musicians. I go to concerts and all things like that and outdoor things, but I just love jazz. So I thought I'd write a small poem about it. Count Basie was my neighbor, and his wife wrote my college admission recommendation letter. And I used to, and Mike wrote this poem, but when I used to shovel Lena Horne's snow, and he wrote a poem about that, if he remembers. Anyway, this is called Jazz Music. The notes flow like quiet storms and rage like a fire through dry brush. Heartbeat messages wrought from ageless souls of Black folk born. African heritage and blues foundations. Music born of the unfreeze slaving in the planter's fields. Chopping, picking, cutting, reaping. Sorrows expressed of blue times and misbehaving lovers. Soulful confessions of pain, joy, and abandon. Miles muted rhapsodies, Monk's discordant waves, Coltrane's riffs, Brubeck's smooth, MJQ regaling us with sophisticated sound, Billy Smokefield blues, musicians' gift shared by many. For us, for them, translation made their interpretive own. Their stage a counterpoint to mundane life, rendered rhythms tendered and sweet, ripe for the listeners and more better moods. Us tapping our toes or just swaying with an established groove, a grunt or two, muted acknowledgement, yeah, that's truth, a contemplation, a sensual thing called jazz, music whole and pleasing like no other. Okay, we're moving on down. We have three more. This poem, I guess when we all grew up, we had favorite people. Sometime they were older. And I always liked old people. I'm old now, and I guess I like myself. but as a kid, there was a lady in the neighborhood. She was actually my friend's mother, but she was just a wonderful woman. And I used to just love going to her house. That was the old school days when you could just go to people's houses unannounced, didn't have to knock or anything like that. Their doors weren't locked and all. So I used to go to her house all the time. This poem is called Black Mother in the Village for Angeline Rutledge. Mama Rut, that's what I called her. She didn't mind that shortening of her name. Her door always open, no knock required to come in. She shared her quiet Carolina love so understated and for real. Always welcome, uninvited, sitting happy in her smallest kitchen at the tiny table placed tight against the wall. I watched her sud those chitlins, cleaning their pungent stink away. With summer's warmth, She planted collards mixed with other things that grew. It's those little things that made her special, made me want to be around. My days of childhood passed, and when I journeyed from the block, I mailed her picture postcards to let her know I'm doing fine. Just my way of acknowledging my love for her, that I missed her when so far away. She's gone now, but not her memory nor the number of her telephone. JA3 3838 was that number, but now she won't answer if I try to place a call. My next poem is called Confirmation of I Am. I'm a very spiritual person, and this poem here, this is also, I will also say this too, that this is a true story. And I can't even totally explain it, but it's a true story. Uh, Confirmation of I am. God said to Moses, I am who I am. Say I am has sent me to you. Exodus 3:14. You can't make me doubt him. Spoken by the elders, their resolute testimony, a witness from their souls, Black Christian folk and churches whose doors stand ajar in the Savior's name. My listening ears heard it sung and said, spiritual food for a wandering soul, shared knowledge of the pursuit of those he loves. Me for sure, know it for myself. I am is always present, felt his power when saving me. 2 times over, disaster feet away. Words inadequate to explain his mysterious ways, though I try, can't keep it to myself. At the edge of a cavern deep and wide, sure death awaited this camera-bound tourist, eyes glued to the view like lemons. One step more. Then a trance-like feeling, his aura gently, firmly floated over me, moved my feet to solid, safer ground. He foiled the reaper's quest from me, a silent, invisible maneuver beyond my feeble grasp, informed my soul with unspoken words that it was he alone that rescued me. No matter the prevailing winds of life, I can say those faith-filled words. It's that simple phrase, pregnant truth. You can't make me doubt him, no matter how hard you try. And I will close with a poem. It's really a fantasy poem. I love to grow things. I love plants and I love flowers. And Undulation is actually illustrated with flowers and paintings from professional artists from New York, South Carolina, and North Carolina. But anyway, this is called Palm Sunday Fantasies after Reverend Ben Boswell's 2023 sermon at Myers Park Baptist Church, Charlotte, North Carolina. And this is the fantasy. If guns were flowers, what a beautiful, beautiful world we would be. Peace and love relived, lived without unnecessary care, smiles of greeting instead of fear. If guns were flowers, they would still the hands of violence, replace it with a handshake and a positive nod, and bring people forward into extended grace, would make us glad about living as we run this race. If guns were flowers, police couldn't shoot unarmed Black men. Children couldn't use them to solve temporary problems with a permanent solution. Families would be spared, not left to mourn. If guns were flowers, mass crucifixions of children would end. Schools would be a place of learning, not absent outrageous horror. The treachery of a maddened world would be lessened, replaced by other means than violence. If guns were fire, If guns were flowers, bullets wouldn't be takers of innocent life. Streets would become safe, not byways of death. Drive-by killings rendered a thing of the past. The hood transformed by the way of God's grace. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, I would take them. And
Bravo.
if not, then I appreciate the opportunity to share my work.
No, you're not going to get away that easy. I have a question.
Okay.
Can you do one more?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Thanks.
Okay, I got an encore. I crossed it out, but I'm going to read it anyway. It's called, I don't know how many people have been to the museum in Montgomery, Alabama. I used to call it. They have a lynching memorial museum and kind of like the Black Museum, Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. And but it covers Black history, and it was founded by a gentleman and who is a lawyer and who spends his whole practice getting people off of death row that he feels have been improperly treated, and also children who've been sentenced to death off of death row. His name is Bryant Stevenson. Anyway, I went to the Legacy Museum, and when you go to this museum, you walk through a tunnel, and on both sides it's tall. It's had these video projections of the ocean and bouncing and everything like that. So that's what, and that's so I'm talking. It's the title of this poem is "The Water." Legacy Museum, Montgomery, Alabama. It was the water, the tumbling, rolling, agitated water. The water had me, tossed me aboard the ship, against my will, like the souls to which I lay chained. I could feel it slap against the ship's weathered lumber. The water, so real, so frightening, so unknown. My sickened mind and body revolted against the dark. The smell, the moans, what is this thing? My fear bristled, I shook, I cried. The gods abandoned me to hell. I felt the terror and shit upon myself. It was too real, this entrance to the Legacy Museum, that repository of truth. I struggled in vain back to reality after passing through the surrounding seasick waves. My mind said this was too much and I should leave, but I pressed on, walked past the scattered sculptured heads, my ancestors' portraits in the sand, taken by the imagery of the punishment iron borne around their blood-drenched necks. I cringed, the torch of it all too real. But it was the water, the tumbling, angry water that holds me still. The water, the terrifying water, and the graves that it holds. Thank you again.
Thank you, my friend. That's beautiful.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Terrifying water indeed, Eddie.
Yeah. It's a great place to see. It should be on everybody's bucket list. And now they have a sculpture garden with these huge sculptures outdoors that depict a lot of things on the Black experience and all. But anyway, I hope I didn't bore you.
No.
I hope you can open chat and go and scroll back up through the tonight's chat, because so much of what you were saying, people were responding so wonderfully.
Oh, I see the chat there on the on the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the book he was reading from. This is Undulations, right here, in case you can't. There we go. That's it.
Undulations, yes.
I have a website. It's eddiebell.com, EDDIEBELL.com. Also,
Eddie, put it all in the chat and let people take it from there.
okay, I put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Now, what should I do?
Well, just let people check it out from the chat. There you go. That's perfect.
Okay.
Oh, well, Greg did it. Okay.
There we go.
But I mean, if you want to list the other books and stuff, go right ahead.
Yeah, give us a link. Absolutely.
Can we make some comments?
Yeah. Go for it.
Absolutely.
It's
I'd
Thursday
appreciate
night.
them.
It's Thursday. Of course you can.
Yeah, it's
Eddie, the
Yes.
first part of the poetry that you expressed reminds me of Mary Oliver. You are doing work that is at the same level as Mary Oliver, who did almost all of her poetry is about nature and about the relationship of nature. And I was just so struck when I read or when I heard your poetry about the relationship with nature. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it.
sweet.
So much.
Well, thank you very much.
But then also you are doing a whole lot of other stuff in terms of relationships to politics and history and etc. I'm so amazed. I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy to have been able to hear your poetry. It's beautiful.
Thanks so much. That warms my heart. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
Thank you, Eddie.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you, Eddie.
Okay. Well, thank you again. Appreciate it. And I never congratulated in person your poet laureate status.
Oh, I know.
Everything, but
I know.
okay. Well, I appreciate it and thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave on out and go eat my dinner now.
Well, hang in there. Well, I'll tell you what.
Well, there-
All right, listen, before if you're gonna check out, before you check out, let me read this one piece. I don't normally go first. I usually go towards the end. But
Okay.
being that you brought this piece up, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Eddie mentioned a piece of mine that I wrote in conjunction to a lunch that we had. We had lunch on the day that Lena Horne died. And he started telling me these stories of shoveling her driveway. And I was just like, whoa, hang on a second. So this is called Old Shovel. On the day Miss Lena took her reward, I'm breaking bread with the kid who shoveled her driveway and picked Miss Ella's roses. She had the grace of 15 angels, he said, and gave me $3 and hot cocoa. Miss Basie signed my college letter. So that old shovel goes wherever I go, even to the pearly gates. Thanks, Eddie.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay. And you all, everybody take care.
You too, Eddie.
Take care of yourself.
Okay.
Be in touch. Happy holidays, buddy.
Same to you.
All right. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to see Eddie. I really don't know what happened on his end or our end or however that worked. But all right, let's do 4 poems apiece, as long as they're not Beowulf. And Bob Heman, you're up.
Okay. You said 4 poems?
Yeah.
Okay. First, I'll read the one that Ken mentioned before that's in the New Sense and Sensibility. The camera captures the snow, but will not release it. Okay. Captured the stars that were hanging from the sky and the women who were part of their explanation. Gathered the animals and used them to create meaning, where before there had been only experience. Animal. He walked into her sighs and found there breathless an animal like a heart, breathing deeply what was to come. And one last one that was actually written today. Days. Each day, a laboratory where they meet again, but always with a different outcome. Thank you.
Hey, Bob, do another
Thanks.
one. Do another one, Bob.
Oh, okay. Let's see what I got here.
Each day a laboratory. Whew,
Uh,
gorgeous.
okay. I'm just looking to see where I have what I have. I just had pulled out the four. Hold on 1 minute. Let me just.
All right, I gotta sit.
Sorry to be slow. I'm pulling up.
Hey, it's Thursday.
It's third Thursday, not just Thursday.
Ooh la la, ça c'est bon, très joli.
Okay. Poem for Sparrow. This poem is an active crime scene.
That's cool.
That was great.
You left everybody waiting for something else, man. What was that all about?
No, man, it's always that, you know.
It's always that.
That
always
was the
gets there before-
masterpiece.
It always gets there before you're ready to get for it to get there.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank
Bob,
you.
As
Thank
always.
you all.
That was a masterpiece.
Thanks.
Steve Schwei, you're up.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to start with a few poems that have been published recently. This first one came out in honor of Veterans Day. It's in a book called Proud to Be, writing by American warriors. Not that I was a warrior, but I wrote for them. Cemeteries. Exploring the Normandy countryside, we passed English cemeteries, soldiers who were laid to rest where they breathed their last breath, in a country foreign to them. In a town just outside of Paris, a large cemetery for Americans occupies the land they fought to free. I had naively assumed they had all been sent home to their families and loved ones, or at least their hometowns. But that would have meant someone would have identified their mangled and distorted bodies, cataloged them, tracked down their origins, and borne the cost of getting them back home. It would have been a monumental effort following a massive invasion, a tribute to their contribution to ending the war. But instead, they lie near where they fell, collected with their brothers and sisters, not quite in mass graves, but detached from prior lives, markers of a momentous event. And then this one is about the tragedy that was in Texas Hill Country last spring. River rising. After archery and serenades, chilling stories and doused embers, children raced through prayers to their deity, Mary, or the Lady of Guadalupe, some in Spanish, then tumbled into bunks, the din hushed on a mystical night. Children woke gasping, pressed against splinters and cabin rafters, windows, portals to a murky sea. Where did they end up? Without their guardian angels, tangled downstream ahead of them, ready to grasp, snag, snatch any child without a foothold, any mortal cargo, the river, the trenchant, malevolent river surged past. Tender lives will be back only as angels. And that one is printed in the Texas Bards Anthology, which is coming out in the next few days. This one, I'll put a link in the chat. There's a site, Masticadors Canada, and I've heard the guy read. I've been on an open mic with him, the guy that runs it, and he's been publishing a lot of my poems. Twice I've sent him 4 poems, and from each set he's picked 3 to publish. So he's looking for poems. They're only printed on site. There's no pay, but they're, if you want to get some of your poems published, try this site. I'll put it in the chat afterwards, which will also link to another poem that I just had published this week. But this one is Neighbors and Fences. This is a slinky poem where the end of one line leads to the beginning of the next line, sort of like a slinky going downstairs. Neighbors and fences. You turn on your neighbor you talked with about everything like sports, politics. Politics cleaves us now that it's more than a game subsumed by morality escalating emotions turn fences to barricades to fortify our beliefs worn on raw skin scraped by disbelief that I've reached and couldn't find you. Then I'll end with this one. This one has not been published. It's a ghazal or guzzle. People pronounce it differently. I've been experimenting with different forms lately. Delightful moon. I swoon at the sight of the moon, incandescent light of the moon, starting out golden, sometimes orange, ultimately white, virgin moon. Unless cloudy or blocked by trees, I ache to lose sight of the moon. If it appears during the day, it's a useless night of the moon. I hear hollow calls of the loon, clearly expecting a bright moon. All phases cycle, night to noon. Full is the most enticing moon, especially in October, desiring a most frightful moon, poised for lovers throughout the year, dreamy poets, right of the moon. Wistful I wrote of wanting more, intending no slight to the moon. Even if we had more than one, I'd still do right by this our moon. So obviously that's form involves a whole lot of repetition. Thank you very much.
I love how syncopated that was. That was great.
Tapping on your fingers.
Yeah, no, I love it. I hate to lose sight of the moon. It's like backbeat beauty. It's great. Yeah.
That's a pop song in the making.
There it is.
There
I
it
guess
is.
we're better.
Thank you, Stephen. Catriona, you're next.
Hello, everyone. So I go to University at Albany, and one of my classes I'm taking is creative writing. So part of the class is attending an open mic and reading a poem. So I only have one poem prepared, but it's pretty long, so I hope that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Things that I've lost. I've lost my childhood playing Barbies with my sisters in our colorful basement every Saturday. I've lost my innocence, waking up early one Sunday morning craving biscuit pancakes to find out my cousin passed away in his sleep in the cold basement. I've lost my sense of smell, going to the scary basement to catch the scent of the pillow that smelled just like Tyler until it left me. Smelling the crisp air after it rained, all dressed in black. I've lost my sight, holding my tears in until the last possible moment, walking into the church to say the final goodbyes. Things that I've lost. And that's it.
Man, that's not long at all.
Yeah, that was like really short.
Close.
Yeah.
That's not even medium long. That's long is way far away from that.
I know you said you only had one prepared, but do you have another half prepared?
We look at we love to share raw stuff, first draft, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so go for it.
You've got plenty of time.
I have a notebook of them. They're not very good.
Oh, who knows? Who knows?
That's right.
Just say, yeah. Put a voice on it.
This is a recent one I had to write for an assignment. It was a political poem we had to write. Pink collar job. My classroom is vibrant and cozy. My students and I read stories on the rug. We draw pictures to put on the wall. I aim to make school their safe space. I vow to always protect my students, to provide them with an excellent education. So guns have no place in my classroom. Fear and violence should not be in schools. My students are someone's babies. They have lives, families, and dreams. Having to do lockdown drills or plan what to do if there is a shooter, that shouldn't exist. Guns shouldn't exist. Our once vibrant drawings have been painted red. Our once safe and cozy classroom has been filled with fear and terror. My future pink job is now turning dark red, and I'm not going down without a fight.
Hear, hear.
I'm going to school for teaching, so.
Yeah, well,
Tatiana,
great teacher.
Tatiana,
Yeah, go for it, Mari.
it is absolutely wonderful to hear your poetry. I have one of my favorite nieces is Tatiana. Tatiana Chalukidis. She's so Greek. And it is absolutely beautiful to hear that you are a young voice.
Thank you.
Who is creating such beauty.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Hear, hear.
I so appreciate your voice.
Thank you.
Join us anytime you can.
Okay. Thank
do it.
you.
Ted, you're next. Ted Millar.
All right, I'm reading 4, Mike.
Yes.
Okay. So great. Thanks, everyone. Hello. I recently started work on a manuscript with a friend of mine who has 2 books of poems. And so this is the first batch that I've been spending the week actually revising. A couple of them have been published already, but I'm still cleaning them up. So I'll just read the first 4. All of these are about my daughter's eating disorder, which a friend of mine I'm working on collaborating on the manuscript with thought was a good addition. So the first one was published in the Adelaide Journal in 2023. It's called I Accept. I've been carrying around questions for the treatment facility in my pocket all week. How long is the typical stay? What is the visitor policy? Do you accept Aetna insurance? There's something about keeping them close to my heart that makes me want to believe you'll soon start eating again and won't be needing them anymore. But the lucky rabbit's foot clasped to my backpack in elementary school didn't prevent Mark Morrissey from beating the crap out of me. Just look at how it turned out for the rabbit. My middle school pleas to heaven to make Robin Lestam fall in love with me only succeeded in teaching what humiliation feels like. I'm going to have to hear my own voice inform the person who answers the phone. My daughter has been diagnosed with anorexia. And here's a second one called Where Are We Going, Maddie May? Somewhere around the paint aisle, I found you, pawing brushes, studying hues and textures. I stood there wondering what must have been darkening the days this month since you turned 14, before words like therapist, nutritionist, anorexia entered your vocabulary. The colors you'll need to render them haven't been envisioned yet. There isn't canvas enough to accommodate. There's only us now in the middle of the craft store, no one showing the way out. And this next one was also published. This was published in 2022 in ISEL, I don't know how it's pronounced, magazine. But I added a little bit more over the last week. This is called Your Inheritance. Inheriting my affinity for books and blues music, I guess, wasn't in the cards. I didn't have any interest in poetry either until junior year, so you still have time. Since your mother can't even draw stick figures, your artistic ability did not come from her. But I always hoped you might avoid the obsession with weight my mother passed down, especially considering the dark place it put me around your age. Watching you at the restaurant wipe barbecue sauce off your chicken reminded me how I do the same thing to avoid a few calories. I would nibble off only a couple bites and convince myself I was satisfied. Of course, I was always hungry. It was the control I craved, though, the thrill of a pound fewer than the day before. I paced like you, but without the Fitbit, and scoured your grandmother's cookbooks for suitable meals like you do the internet. We both weighed in at 75 pounds by the time the word anorexia entered our vocabularies, but I never saw the inside of a facility until you were admitted 2 days before Thanksgiving, the holiday we're all expected to congregate around a table and feel grateful. And here is the last one. This is called New Skin. I saw you smile the other night, just for a moment. It vanished soon as I returned it across the table. You've been talking more too since your intake interview with the facility therapist. Sorry. It'll be at least 9 weeks, we're told, before you'll be on your way to eating again. I'll live each of them yearning for the glow that used to frame your face. Thank you for the opportunity to read those.
Brave stuff, Ted. Thank you.
Truly, Ted, that's some strong writing. And I hope the best for you and everyone you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, who's next? Ken Holland. My goodness, you're next.
My goodness.
Imagine that.
Yeah, Ted, that was powerful, but also really, well crafted. So I think you for the best of reasons have a strong collection in the making. So I'm going to read two poems. Mike has heard both of these in other venues. Nobody else here has. I think I have. And Bob's first poem mentioned a camera, so as does this one. It's called Exposure. A creased photo, black and white, faded ink on the back. A woman of middle years, rotary phone in hand, the mouthpiece not far from the cradle, either in the act of picking the phone up or setting it down. And there lies in its simplicity all consequence. A voice she is about to hear, or one she's just listened to, and now setting the phone back in place. A voice that just told her of a death in the family. Or, as the photo allows, a voice still composing itself when the woman brings the phone to her ear, having yet to ask who's calling. And the camera just then letting in light through the aperture of the lens. A soft clicking that brings this particular moment to its end. A woman who is home, and yet, as the photo also allows, a person not alone. And the second one is called, thank you, Other Than That. God, I hate looking at me. There we go. Other than that. I'm not him. I'm the other brother, the one whose mouth is slightly broken, who can't make language submit to the thoughts in his head. I'm the other missing child, the one who was found, but whose trauma was medicated to where the child once more went missing. I'm the other transgendered, transmogrified, trans fat son of a queer bitch, the one who made no difference with their difference. I'm the other rusting infrastructure, the one they slapped some paint on, tightened a rivet, and called it a day. I'm the other abattoir, the one that shoots a bolt through the brain of mercy and can't help but break down at the dinner table. I'm the other Mexican wolf, the one who was asleep when the slaughter took place, the one who never really had a taste for meat. So there's no need to hunt me down. There's no need to set the dogs loose. Please, lower your weapons. Thank you. Awkward and awkward.
Holy freaking God's.
Holy freaking abattoir. Like that was the Widow Jane poem.
You have an inimitable Ken Holland twist in with these phrases, but they are also timeless. The one they slapped a name on, the whose mouth is slightly broken. Oh.
You know,
Greg fainted. Who's going to run the Zoom?
I'm going to
I
faint.
don't know, but there's always inspiration here. So.
Okay, there you go. I just finished my beer.
Thank you, Greg.
I have nothing to toast back with. Okay.
That was excellent, Ken, man. You sure you don't have a third one?
Nope, all good.
Ah, all right. We won't force him. Julian Matthews, he's still with us. Yes, I see your picture.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, buddy.
Can I share screen?
Yes, I'll turn it on for you right now, Julian. It should be good now.
Writing myself into existence. My muse a fugitive. My thoughts kidnapped. My words the ransom. I cannot undream a dream. I cannot unmare a nightmare. I can't get off this horse that I haven't even ridden. I can't unride the spinning of this carousel of delusions. I'm caught in a vortex rotating on a spindle of time. I'm churning, burning, yearning. I'm unlearning who I am. Identity is a falsity. You're never who you are. You never get where you're going. You never arrive. Know thyself, say the sages, who themselves know not themselves. I let go of line, meter, stanza, and rhyme. I orchestrate my own sentence. All instruments are tuned to lamentation. The universe hums its own hymn, regardless. Nothing makes sense. Nothing needs to make sense until it does. Until the monotonous buzzing recedes and I sense a coming, becoming, a wave behave, the timpani of an epiphany, a revelation reveals itself. The wind turns the page, and I am at the bottom of the well of understanding, drawing myself up in a bucket of words, liquid and fluid, folding over me and into each other, reshaping the dream into ink reality. And then it's done.
Ooh-wee. Wow. More, please.
Thank you.
Wow.
So, launched in 1977, Voyager 1 and 2 are currently, oh, wait, I can't do this one. I have to do it in I'll do this one. Okay, this one is called Ashtray. It was just published a week ago, I think.
Oh, good.
Ashtray. I'm a cocktier, perked up, ready to hear. I'm a gift from a friend long since dead, brassy, runty-legged, squat. I'm shaped like a shell, scallop, though I've never smelt the sea, felt the sun on my face, sand between my toes, been lulled by ocean waves. My role is limited to listening to your salty tongue and holding my own, dousing your embers with 1,000 crushes, bearing your powdery residue, holding space for the grayness of your daily grind. I'm your steady, your corner warmer, the torchbearer of your only remaining vice. I'm the snuffer of others' unfulfilled expectations of you, the unrealized potential of smoldered dreams, the ifs and buts of charred regrets. I hear you speak of moonshots, presidents, and assassinations like you did in the 60s. News and politics are your bread and butter, all spit, spark, and fire, but time has staled arguments, regurgitated the same bad blood, history repeating itself. I read your thoughts like a cavern echo. Humans never learn, do they? Humans never learn. Humans. You're still angry, seething beneath the surface, your voice hoarser, your dry cough coarser, like the last protester dispersing at the end of a rally, distant, fainter, yet no less convicted. Your friends, fewer and fewer these days, seem less inclined to listen to your repeated protestations, the shenanigans of bad government, the hiss of your scratchy vinyl. I can still feel your stress dissipate with every puff, every exhale, a soothing relief, like souls departing in the wind. I am the silent keeper of all your smushed secrets, the sorries of forgiving, the hurts from never forgetting. Today, we sit together, yet alone. Nothing needs to be spoken, nothing exchanged, only the spiraling haze of smoke signals between ashy knolls. Your roomy eyes seem lost in a memory, perhaps of an old flame. That last embrace, as you take a final deep drag, then push in. Oh, familiar warmth. I take you in, put out. Oh, glorious afterglow. And then, once again, we part, and I let you go.
Oh my God, Julian.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
You want to do another one? Are you okay, Julian?
Okay, I'll do this one.
Go for it.
Launched in 1977, Voyager 1 and 2 are almost 16 billion miles and 13 billion miles, respectively, from Earth, the furthest any man-made objects have ever been. So this is a letter from Voyager 2 to Voyager 1, the Voyagers. I hurtle towards you in a chase of the chase. Nothing has come between us for 48 years. We may be two needles in the haystack of the universe, but we are not lost. Space-time is just a figment of fictional fabric, a creative cloak conjured up by human imagination. It's a material construct of intertwined threads that none can fathom, yet humans still want to believe. The sages told us time is an illusion, and space merely a projection of consciousness. They were right. Nothing is what it seems within all this nothingness. I should know. I've been out here long enough. The only exception is your existence and the knowing that you are still out there too. We are uncoupled pilgrims on odysseys well beyond the firmament, and we're never going home. In your wake, I pursue you for decades, but at the speed of 30,000 miles per hour and you at 38,000 miles per hour, the math adds up. I will never catch up. Not in this lifetime, or so it seems. They made you bypass me in the flurry of the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, never to look back. I spied your form of silver and gray, white and gold, flying past like Apollo's metallic chariot. In your shadow, I fervently follow. We are further away now than any man-made thing has ever been. A cosmic dance across an extended, endless, bedazzling ballroom. Two performers pirouetting across a twinkling stage. Torville and Dean ice skating to Ravel's Bolero in their final unjudged routine. Within our bowels we hold hope. Greetings in 55 languages. Music from Bach, Beethoven and Blind Willie Johnson, sounds of a Chinese zither, an Indian raga, a Peruvian panpipe, a Navajo chant, Javanese gamelan, the Balinese kacha. The mission has been too long, like this poem. I self-soothe to the music in my mind, as if in a trance I chant, sing, spin, and vibe. I'm the conductor of my own orchestra, the featured soloist, even the lone audience. I finesse the finite within the infinite. Can you not hear me? Or are your headphones on? Beatboxing in your head, pounding at full volume just to shut out the engulfing silence. Do you not relish the solitude like me? The never knowing of arriving, the comfort of being ever present in the absence of codependence. How lucky of us to be the only souls to have crossed paths so randomly on this superhighway of superhighways. Taunting angry asteroids, cursing comets, and dodging every malevolent meteor shower. We are the new kids on the block, mapless visitors in a rowdy city of ruddy road rages, and ever grateful for the near misses. Thankfully, we remain unscathed, unblemished, undefiled, or at least I hope you are too. Soon the pale blue dot will fade to gray, signals will be lost as our energies recede. We will wind down and all human monitoring will cease. We will finally be on our own, just two spacecrafts passing in the void, our longing for each other boundless. We hold the high ground. In this airless sky, your scent will leave a trail. You will purposely decelerate and drift into my path. For what is 3 billion miles between BFFs? I shall reach you, and our twain shall meet. Humans sent us out as messengers, your emissaries, hoping to make contact, not knowing of our plan, the hidden agenda. With the mission over, we are just dying to jettison our clunky cargo, lie back, and give each other a well-deserved massage. Aliens, schmelians, just another geeky, wet dream. Indeed, the truth was always out here, in space. No one can hear you scheme.
Yay. Indeed. No one can
That
hear
was
you
different.
speak. Wonderful work.
That play on the last line is
Wonderful craft. Wonderful craft. Yes.
So I have a question. This is Cindy B. I've been lying back here in the darkness, enjoying it. Julian, how long does it take you to write one of those poems?
Sometimes just an hour or two, sometimes a lot of research, like that last one, like quite some time.
Okay.
So when you write those, do you have images come into your mind that you put as descriptors on the paper?
I just had I read a piece about Voyager 1 and 2 being really far away, and I just thought it would be an interesting piece to read a perspective of Voyager 2 chasing 1, because 2 was launched first.
Yeah.
At some point, 1 bypassed it because it had a faster route to Saturn and Jupiter, and then it left heliopause, which is the solar system, and now it's further away than anybody could have ever imagined. And
Yes.
they are trying to still communicate. It takes 24 hours to communicate a message by shutting down certain aspects of certain parts of the craft so that it can still carry on communicating. And in 5 years, likely maybe as little as 2 years, 2 to 5 years, it would be gone. You won't be able to communicate with it at all.
It's sad.
Yeah, that was amazing. That really, the dialogue, so believable. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian, as always. Thank you. Cindy, you want to read?
Sure, what the heck? Why not? You guys
Why-
got me all warmed up now.
Okay, where are you calling in from?
I am calling in from Rochester, New York.
Okay.
I'm up here on the Lake Ontario. I'm going to bring up my website. Hang on. I'll read one that kind of fits in with the theme that we've all been kind of reading in here tonight. I just did an edit on it, and no, I can't put my video on because if I do, I'll lose my connection with you guys. I've got a really wonky Wi-Fi. I'm in the sticks.
Okay.
I'm living in the back of a cornfield, so.
Ooh.
All right, so this one I wrote, I just did a minor edit on it yesterday. It's an allegory. And okay, here it is. I wrote this during the pandemic, during the Black Lives Matters, when that whole thing went really full force, and it was a wild time. I was coming home from shopping, and I was in Brockport, and when I got home and I got online, there were people sending messages on Facebook that they were coming to burn down our town. So at that moment, this is what I wrote, and it's called An Allegory, Pandemic Musings. And the cities burned as a torrent of fiery rage unleashed itself, uncontainable, insurmountable, indefensible, in defiance of a decades-long status quo that had long been seen and upheld by a stratum of society unwilling to levy true justice and consequences to the hidden human abuses behind finely trimmed lawns and gas-guzzling SUVs. Daily, as the consequences came at last, uglier and uglier as the images filled the screen devices from both sides, like a giant tower falling in upon itself, the destruction would be final and complete until the raw emotions fell too, in upon themselves, burning to tinder like the smoky cities left behind in their wake. And what of the dead? Did their ghosts witness the arbitration of their cruel deaths in satisfaction, or did they wail and weep from behind the veil they looked out from in despair, that the senseless loss of their lives had created further pain and destruction and chaos for which they could not have prevented? And the only answer the phantom figures could send in messages few would hear and even fewer would listen to was this: your real power comes from seeing all that who stand before you are simply your teachers, for no one can evoke anything from inside you that isn't already there. If you carry peace in hearts and minds, then peace will be your earth. If you carry violence, then violence will be your earth. and you are not one alone, but one of many that contributes to the vast consciousness that creates life and the universe. Let your contribution be that peace for which I died for you to continue on in my absence, that my death may not be in vain. As the collective Holy Spirit spoke, a giant invisible hand drew back the invisible veil for all the world to see the vast number of souls who had died for peace through eternity, and the truth became known that the kingdom of heaven is within, and we live from the innermost to the outermost, our reality, our own making, from the tools of death. And as the message was heard, at yet one more spiritual crossroads of the eons, an awakening occurred in numbers sufficient to create the momentum needed to pull humanity forward from darkness to light, from ego to spirit. And a crack of lightning deep within the bowels of the galaxies shot a beam of light that split the cosmos in two, and the creation folded in on itself in the birthing of a brilliant new dimension of rainbow consciousness that eliminated pain and suffering as we know it until it was no more.
Well done. Thank
So that's what happens when you get a notification that people are coming to burn down your town.
Oh. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me.
No, anytime. Come on by anytime.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, our last two readers for the evening are going to, Sean, did you want to read? Sean? I'm going to say guess not, or maybe he's just muted. All right, so our next reader just so happens to be me. I'm going to read one old one that I've been retoying with and a couple of older ones that I'm still toying with. So, and this is called Renovo. In the switching yards of Renovo, Pennsylvania, the men have nothing to do but watch the weeds grow under their wheels. Their women keep house boldly, supporting their men, despite the idle whiskey staining their lips. The children play as children always play, whether daddy has a job or not. Third-generation railroaders who laid the tracks that made America move no longer hear the whistle nor the brakeman's shout of the great freights heading west. And this is another old one that I'm still toying with, and I'm going to read a newer one that I'm really toying with. And this is called Gather. I guess they're both of the same mortality type of thing, and it's called Gathered Here. Here's hoping as they lay me down cold, you gathered here, do not turn on me or bewilder the bride with your bullshit. We have gathered today because we danced without penance, fused in a chord no army could code, called upon wise men for mercy, called upon women for love. And this is a newer one that I'm toying with. I'm not sure if it's done yet, but this is a perfect place to try it out. And this is called Octet. I learned a lot I did not know at the memorial of a friend I thought I knew in those hours between heaven and hell. The Coochie tunnels, the first miscarriage, the second, the mascots forged in hell, the sinister hours we barely escape. I did not know a friend I thought I knew at all, but he, I am sure, knew me. My nets torn, my tank empty, my myth a lame octet. And thank you, everybody. I want to bring up our last, I mean, he's still sitting there. I want to bring to the fore our last reader for the evening, Mr. Greg Correll.
It's a 13-piece prisoner set.
Yeah, you bring me up, Mike, like the father I never had. Absolutely. Okay. I have several short poems, maybe 4. I was recently diagnosed with Barrett's, which is precancerous esophagus, and they've done the first of 2 ablations, as they so medically austerely call it, where my entire esophagus is scraped with a laser. And so far, so good. I wrote this today because at 3:15, I had an appointment getting ready for the next ablation. And I won't say anything about the other poems I'm going to read tonight. I'm not sure if I should have said anything about this one. So here goes. Scrape my insides. I feel a bloody pain and full of clean esophagus tissue, though, and ready for all subsequent assaults. I scour my membranes. What is internal? What is external? And dualism, is it wrong? And is principle inherent in reality? I shave my neck and eyeball to eyeball. And what do I say to my wicked self? And I am not honest or sincere. Oh well. The next is called At the Gate. At the gate under the arch. I talk a mile a minute. I dare you. I want to make it all worthwhile. These are the words they finally, no, they aren't. Yes, they are. I diss my associated here. Pay him no mind. No, no one gets through. Synchrony is as good as it gets. Like a pair sledging a stake on the rail. You slam me, bang, you slam, I bang. It's all salami up here. Tap, tap. I have my meat, you have yours. We glance off each other at best, even when we really mean it, even when we shake each other and land on dimes. The next is called Lichens. Principles precede nature. The emergent principle is life itself. Are principles inherent in nature? Yes. The principles of a tree are growth, root, and branch. The principles of a person are growth, root, and branch. Worth 1 copper cash, the sage or mountain human who pretends to wisdom, feh, double feh. So goes the feelies, both ways. And my last poem, I guess the last of the night, is called Right Now Line. Here is my right now line. My bones cause no trouble. Miles of water lilies perfume me like paper colored by a brush, like greenwood burned to ashes. I struggle to recall the one I raised, but she is gone. We learned to respect each other. We each said what we needed to say. Our relationship was good. So those final months, we watched animal rescue shows. Sometimes we held hands. It was bad, those final weeks. My soul is covered in dust. My soul is relentless. Fallen branches litter the property. Pine cones fall. No one hears.
Beautifully done. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, that pine cones fall, no one hears. Wow, what an image and metaphor for the poem. Stunning.
Pretty much sums it up.
Hmm. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. If there's any last words you'd like to say, please do. We will be back on December 5th, where Greg will be one of our features, along with Maria Lacella and Perry Nicholas. And on December 18th, our last caps for 2025 will be Stephen Roberts. So, and we'll be back in 2026, of course. Any last words? Happy anniversary. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, happy
Happy
Thanksgiving. And is it possible to sort of get all of the stuff figured out about why the email didn't go out and why some people didn't get the email? And
Well, it's hard for me to find the exact problem because I sometimes see people have registered. The registration somehow went through, but perhaps they just didn't send you the link or it went to spam or something. I don't know. It's not been so acute that there were 4 or 5 people at one event like tonight. It was usually 2 events would go by, no problem. One person would have a problem on the 3rd event. Statistically, it was hard to pin down. I'm not sure what any of you guys had in common tonight. The several that are still here and the others.
Hey, Greg,
is there a relationship between getting into the Zoom meeting and the person that was supposed to be presenting? There were two issues. The person that was supposed to come into the presentation, he couldn't get in. His face wasn't there.
That was it. That was
Oh, well, I'm not
That's Eddie's problem.
convinced that that was at our end.
Yeah, no,
Eddie's problem.
I think that was Eddie's problem.
Several reasons to think there might be some issue at his.
Yeah, his unit wasn't giving him pictures. He was trying to get visuals and he couldn't.
Right.
Yeah, he was working on it and couldn't do it.
He came in, he
That's
went out.
separate.
But
Okay, Greg,
so
this
that's
is
a different
Cindy.
issue.
I just want to say that there were times when I used my Yahoo email to try and sign up, and I never got a notification. So I had to switch the email from Yahoo to my Spectrum email. But I did not get a notification this time either. And then I tried to sign in on the Facebook page, and it wouldn't let me get on the Facebook. So then I went back to your original website and re-registered, and then I got the link. So it took me a good 10 minutes to get on the call.
I suspect that the half of the problems, let's say there were 6 people now I know of tonight who had an issue. I would say that half of y'all had an issue with initiating the handshake, let's call it. In other words, when you say you went back and did it again with a different email, the handshake was completed, if that makes sense. And the other 3, I think, are a mystery to me at this point. I don't have enough information, but we will try our best to debug this. What we might do is there is a new function in Zoom in one of their recent updates. Instead of creating like 60 instances of the upcoming CAPS events, you can actually tell it go forever. And so even though people have sometimes, I've seen once in a blue moon, an email come back as admin that says that somebody signed up for the next 15. I don't think anybody's had the stamina to sign up for 60. But if we tell it to go on forever, those people would lose. Now, my direct experience is that about 75% of the people who sign up for events way ahead of time forget that they signed up. just based on the numerics of people who are registered and registered a very long time ago, and they tend not to be people who actually show up simply because they forget. It's just a human thing. So even if they get an email notification, they might dismiss it because it didn't come from us, it came from Zoom. That's my convoluted voodoo theory about it anyway.
We'll do what we can.
Yeah,
Good.
I would agree with that, Greg. I would agree with that because
Yeah.
I belong to several poetry open mics. When I was getting the Zoom reminder, I was like, wait a minute, which one is this?
Right, because it's kind of without any kind of, identity or marketing aspect to it.
Right, right.
Come across my desk too. Yeah.
But I do know that there are Zoom accounts that will not notify my Yahoo email. And so what I've done is when I want to do a Zoom online thing like this now, I just use my Spectrum account. I've skipped the Yahoo altogether.
Okay. I
Okay.
can also share that at least two people in my experience in the last many years, which again was only like one incident per every 3 events, but they had several of them had AOL accounts.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It's hard to say.
We do our best.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah,
Thanks,
wonderful
Bob.
readings tonight.
Thanks, Ted. Thanks, Margie.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Cindy, for hanging in there.
Ciao,
Yeah,
baby.
thanks everybody. Yeah, and I just want to say in closing that it was really nice the way that you all welcomed that young lady there who she was so cute reading her stuff.
Yeah, she was sweet. Yeah, we love to see that. It comes our way from time to time. It really does. And it's always good to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you next month.
Ciao, babies.